Yo, how's it going? Day 72, define and discover. We're building upon the segment intending, segment intend, collapse to a point in your sessions. Today is just a little bit more of a tweak. So you've been imagining that the wish is fulfilled. It comes down to that collapse point of the clinking of the glass. You can sense the pumping of your fist or the clinking of the glass. And that's all coming from a segment in the future of, whatever celebration it is, the type of people that will be there and all this stuff. And you clink the glass. And so you're taking this with you and you're doing that over and over again, but there's like a level of stagnation, or maybe there's a little bit too much force going on. So you can tweak it a little bit and ask yourself a very simple question. If I clink the glass, what are the other things that are going on in my life? How are there other shifts in my life at work as well? What are other things that you're noticing? What's your relationship with your friends? What's your relationship with drinking in this case, with the chinking in the glass? What else does it imply? You see, when you start to train your brain to ask that type of question, your brain will automatically roll towards those positive aspects. It will start to seek out other instances that prove that the wish is fulfilled. And a lot of times, those are actually things that you could even do right now. Start seeing yourself playing and walking that bridge of incident that's going to get you to that place. But every time you come to the session and you're thinking about the chinking of the glass or the pumping of the fist, and you're attributing that moment to this desire that you want to see manifest, right? That new job, the better relationship, the new car. But what else is going on? What does it feel like to go and take a walk in the wish fulfilled? What does it feel like to be living in that house? What are the normal day-to-day things that you would be doing if the wish was fulfilled? And how can you incorporate that into the right now? And of course, in your sessions, which is what the homework is going to be today, is to ask yourself, what else does this imply? What other shifts have been made? You see, I'm a loving teacher right now. I'm teaching my understandings of metaphysics to help you reach your goals, reach your desires. There's so many other things that help imply that. Like today, I was invited to go to the gym with somebody. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while. But it's interesting, at the gym, it's an opportunity for me to learn who I am, learn this imaginal tool as I'm working out, right? My old self doesn't work out. I'm not a gym rat. I'm not a gym person or anything like that. But I imagined that I had a good workout session with a good buddy, because it implies that my wish isn't fulfilled, that I'm a loving teacher that uses every opportunity to learn their fears, their judgments, all that stuff. Another example is that, I'm a loving father. What does that imply? It implies that I take breaks from my son. Sometimes it implies that I am overly loving to my son. It means all sorts of things. Again, back to that first week. This X does not mean what I imagine it does. What are the things that are happening in your day-to-day if the wish was fulfilled? And how can you play those out now in your sessions when you're doing your 2x5, 3x3? Really play with that. What else would you be doing? How would you drink coffee? How would you go to the gym? How would you observe the world? Play with that. That's it. That's all. You're wonderful. Peace and hair grease.